Okay, hello and welcome to another episode of Adventures in Celluloid. I am Corey.
And this is Josh.
And
I'm Lee.
Yeah, Lee's an official guest now as of this recording. So yeah, official host. Not official guest. He's already been an official guest. Yeah.
So turn up the recording volume. There you go.
Speaking of guests, we got two guests with us. Guest number one, what is your name, sir?
Wes.
That's Wes. And
This is Wes, and he's a... What major are you? Film
and media.
He's a film and media major.
Just like you.
Yeah, just like me.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
And then we got...
other guests.
What's up? I'm Blaise.
And Blaise is here.
In the house.
For no reason.
Joining us.
But yeah, today, or tonight, or whenever the heck you're listening to this, we're going to talk about Napoleon Dynamite. One of my favorite movies. I just love it to pieces.
For those of you who don't know, this podcast is for movie lovers, moviegoers, and anybody who really listens to it. But this podcast is about movies we love or potentially hate,
But everybody can listen.
Yeah, but
Don't
everybody can
discriminate.
listen. No discrimination here. Okay, go ahead, Corey. Sorry.
Yeah, Josh, discriminating people.
I feel discriminated against now.
Blaise is discriminated.
Like that's the rudest thing I've ever heard.
Now he's gonna start pointing out stuff about you being a ginger, and he's gonna.
Yeah. What's
I'm
next?
not-
Ginger hate? Come on, man.
Okay.
But he's gonna say
it
that you don't have a
takes-
soul.
Red is in the rainbow as well. Come on.
Okay.
Lee, help me out here. You're not saying anything. You're not saying anything.
You dug that hole yourself.
Okay, so what's this movie about?
Okay, 2004, directed by Jared Hess, and starring John Heder. Okay, so it's about Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah, that's what it's about.
Big
It's
surprise there.
Basically, what it's
It's about
about.
Napoleon in the war, and he finds some C4. And no, just kidding. Go ahead, Corey.
Oh yeah.
That'd make for a better plot, probably.
That'd be interesting.
Okay, so
it wouldn't be as dry, that's for sure.
like usual, I'm kind of going off the Wikipedia article as a guidance, but yeah. Anyway, Napoleon Dynamite, he's 16-year-old boy, even though he looks a lot older, and he's got an older brother who's double his age apparently, Kip, and they live with their grandma, and Kip spends all day online chatting with babes and training to be a cage fighter, while their grandmother leads a secret life involving mysterious boyfriends and quad biking in the desert. And while Napoleon, he daydreams his way through school, doodling ligers and fantasy creatures, and reluctantly deals with the various bullies who torment him, particularly the obnoxious sports jock, Don. I don't know why this says sports jock, because that's basically what jock is. So,
Redundant.
Man, I guess you could be a chess jock.
chess jock.
He's a chess jock.
Checkmating all day.
Chess jocks bullying people. Knight to G4.
You're not even good at checkers.
Check and mate. Okay, and then Napoleon, he likes to make up stories about himself whilst having a sullen and aloof attitude. And then their grandmother goes for a trip out in the desert, and she breaks her coccyx. I think that's pronounced coccyx. And that hurts though, because it's like right there. It's like the base of the spine, isn't it? It's like ooh.
I have no idea what your coccyx is.
Ooh. But yeah. She breaks her coccyx in whatever you saying, whatever, in a quad bike accident, and then Uncle Rico comes to look over the boys, and he's middle aged, and he like hasn't moved on from high school, and he wants to.
Uncle Rico's the bomb, though. He plays football with himself.
Yeah,
And that's about it.
But
he's still the bomb.
He films himself
kind of.
playing football, and he lives in a camper.
Lee's like, what is this movie about? What? Why am I part of this?
Blaise and Lee have not seen this, if we didn't mention that before. So
No, but I do know Napoleon Dynamite is a ginger, isn't he? Right?
I think so.
Because like he's got like red curly hair. Right?
Yeah.
He's a ginger.
Kind of.
So
It's more like a
so like
blonde,
I have
but
a
know.
connection.
There you go.
That's how we're gonna get through this.
He's your
If it
spirit
makes
animal.
you feel good that he's a ginger, then...
Although
Skip
more
it.
power
from what I
to
hear, he's like a complete idiot, right? So maybe he's not representing very well.
Well, I wouldn't say he's like a complete idiot.
We'll
He's more of like
probably
a
get to that.
soft-spoken hero, but
Well, we'll see.
really
We'll see.
absent-minded.
Yeah. We'll see. He's like the absent
hates everybody.
professor here.
But he's so apathetic about his hate. We'll get to that.
I like how we're analyzing Napoleon Dynamite, the character. I've never done that. I've never dug into the character of Napoleon Dynamite. But yeah. But anyway, Uncle Rico and Kip join up on get-rich-quick schemes, and they start selling items door to door because Kip wants money so he can visit his online girlfriend LaFonda, and and
Nobody knows what we're talking about sometimes. Blaise, wait, you haven't seen it?
What? No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, Blaise and Lee are like... Okay.
I'm wanting to see this movie more than what you guys talk about it.
It's pretty fantastic.
And then
Okay, go ahead.
Uncle Rico believes that this money will help him get over his failed dreams of the NFL stardom and the loss of his girlfriend. And it doesn't exactly state how long he's broken up with his girlfriend, but judging on how he can't get past high school, it was probably his high school sweetheart back in the day. Back in 82, I believe, he says. And then Napoleon becomes friends with he makes two friends. Deb, who's a girl, a shy girl, who runs various small businesses. She sells keychains, and she wears a ponytail on the side of her head because she's cool. And she sells keychains to raise money for college. And Napoleon also makes friends with a foreign exchange student named Pedro. And you getting a phone call?
Yeah. My dad's calling.
If you're gonna take it, go to the corner.
Hello?
Anyway, Pedro and Napoleon become best friends, and Pedro has a mustache. That's important.
Yeah, it's super important.
And then the three of them become good friends, and then the high school dance starts getting prepared, and then Pedro asks Deb out to the dance. Well, after he asks Summer, I forget her last name, but he asks Summer first, and she's like the most popular girl in school, and she says no, and then
She says no, and his life is...
she accepts. And then Napoleon is jealous, and he's like, I need a partner to dance. And so he asks Summer's friend Trisha, and like Trisha's mom thinks that Napoleon is special ed, so she makes Trisha go to the dance with him. Yeah.
Okay, how are you liking this movie so far, Lee?
I'm still kind of confused.
And after the dance, so the dance is over now, Pedro decides he's going to run for class president because he sees a poster that's for class president nominations. And he's like, I'll do this. And so he starts to run for class president against Summer.
This is where the Pedro for president means.
Yeah, vote for Pedro.
No, vote for Pedro.
Vote for me. Vote for me.
Vote
for Pedro. Vote for Pedro. But yeah, and then they're running against each other, and Kip has finally met LaFonda, who has come to visit from Detroit, and he starts becoming like a hip hop dude. Like at first, he's this really nerdy guy.
He conforms to the world around him.
You're just jealous that I'm chatting that
Along
I'm
with
chatting
babes all day.
live.
Besides, both know I'm training to become a cage fighter.
I
Yeah.
found that odd. He's training to become a cage fighter while on the internet.
Yep.
That makes no
Chatting
sense.
online with babes all day. But anyway, now Kip is all hip hop and stuff. And Rico and Kip, they keep going with their schemes, and then Uncle Rico's spreading embarrassing rumors about Napoleon, and this is going to get a little PG-13 here, but Rico tries to sell Deb product, and then she goes, Napoleon thinks you should, he's being a real creep. Uncle Rico's a creep. I'm just gonna say
Yeah,
that.
Uncle Rico is a little...
He's the biggest creep ever. Like, seriously.
I think I came back at the wrong time.
How's it going, Blake?
But then Deb, obviously upset, because this creeper and so she calls up Napoleon and is like, if that's the way you feel about me, Napoleon, we shouldn't be friends. And then Napoleon confronts Rico, and like he throws stuff at him. I can't remember what he throws at him, but then he gets chased and they climb a fence.
He throws stuff at him, but he has this really blank expression on his face while he does it. It's like, he stays in character so well, pretty much.
Go home, you're eating up all our steak and ruining our lives. Something like that. Uncle Rico keeps going on with this scheme, but then he visits the wife of the town's martial arts instructor. He, of course, in his creepy ways, he starts being creepy, and then the martial arts instructor walks in on them, and he simply just goes, and then we hear a bunch of commotion that Uncle Rico he's dealt with.
Dealt.
And then class president elections, the climax of the movie. Summer gives a speech before the student body, and then she does a dance skit with a bunch of girls, the cheerleaders. I think it's Backstreet Boys. I think that they're dancing to, if I remember correctly. Something Backstreet Boys. And then Pedro didn't know he was supposed to have a skit prepared. Napoleon, quick thinking Napoleon, he has a mixtape that LaFonda gave him, and so he gives it to the sound booth.
Oh, he got it from LaFonda? I thought he found it in like a thrift store. He's like,
No,
I want to learn how to dance.
he found a tape at a thrift store and he's dancing to it, and then LaFonda saw him dancing, and so she gave him a mixtape.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, and so he gives it to your kind of people, the sound booth people. He gives the mixtape to them, and then
Put this.
Was that condescension? I'm not sure.
My kind of people.
your kind of people.
Yeah, now you're being racist.
Jobist, occupationist.
Jobist.
But yeah, and then so Napoleon, off the top of his head, comes up with a skit for Pedro, and the sound booth starts playing the tape. It plays Jamiroquai, Canned Heat. He just starts dancing. It's the climax of the scene. He's dancing.
It's one of the most iconic scenes from a comedy movie. It's so recognizable. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, ah.
and
And he's got moves.
and
Like,
it's so inspirational too.
he's doing his little jig, and
It inspired me back when I was in high
it's
school.
uplifting. Yeah.
And then after he gets done, he gets a standing ovation from everybody in the whole place except for Summer's boyfriend. Everybody's cheering for him, and then Pedro becomes class president.
Obviously.
Thanks to
like-
Napoleon. Napoleon saves the day.
This movie reminds me of like High School Musical, but it's like a dry High School Musical.
And much better.
and much
yeah.
better than High
You know,
School Musical. Exactly.
I have a
It's
comment
like
about this
good
movie
High
that I will make in a
No,
moment.
it's not.
Let's see. Let's wrap up this plot here. Pedro becomes class president. Then LaFonda leaves with Kip for Michigan, and then Rico reunites with his estranged girlfriend while he's playing football with himself with a broken arm. And then Grandma gets out of the hospital, and then Napoleon and Deb make up by playing tetherball with each other. And then post-credits scene, Kip and LaFonda get married, but Napoleon isn't there yet. He comes in riding a horse, and he claims that it's a wild honeymoon stallion that he has tamed himself. Napoleon, Rico, Pedro are all there, and everybody. LaFonda and Kip get on the horse, and they ride off across the fields.
It's the end of a great comedy monument.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say this, that this movie is probably the most realistic portrayal of public high school. Like, it really is. Like, I've went through it. Are all you?
I have not.
You
No,
To
some
some
degree.
To some degree.
That was private school.
That's
I was the only one fully public schooled in here, but this movie most accurately represented public high school. Like, for real.
The movie sounds very colorful.
It is. Would you see it, Lee?
At this point, I don't really know.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what? I would definitely see it.
I might-
It's
I
so
might
good.
watch it once just so that I could say I have seen
You can't just watch it.
I have
Have
wanted
you
to
seen-
see it for several
Have you
years.
you've seen Nacho Libre, right?
No.
No, you have not seen Nacho Libre?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I've
what
only
the
seen
heck?
part of Nacho Libre, and I wasn't really
It's
impressed.
directed. It's by the same director. as
Yeah,
Napoleon.
it's oh my goodness. This okay. Level of comedy is through the roof. It's so great.
I have a friend that believes that along with Iron Man 3, Nacho Libre is the worst movie he's ever seen.
Who is this guy?
Interesting comparison.
Has he seen The Room? I mean, come on. Iron Man 3 is great.
But yeah, this
For another day.
Yeah.
this movie.
Yeah.
What does everybody think about Napoleon Dynamite? Except for you two. We already see if you want to watch it. What do you think about it, Josh?
Okay, I'd like to say that this is one of my favorite comedy movies just because I can sit down and every character in the movie is so dead-faced, dry. And every joke made in the movie is made dryly so that you're like, I should be laughing at this, and you are laughing at it, but like the whole time you're laughing at it, you're like, why am I laughing at this? It's so dry that it's like it's just hilarious. That's all I have to say. You should watch this movie. Okay.
Hey, what do you think, sir?
I can't explain it.
My opinions are I don't know. Napoleon Dynamite's I've always had mixed feelings about the film because there's segments of the film that I would agree are flat out funny. You know, the dance sequence, Kip's character, and some of Uncle Rico's antics. But to me, the film probably would have worked better if it would have been a prolonged SNL skit where where it would have been, a weekly special that you see on SNL and kind of like the Coneheads back in the 90s or whatever. I don't know. I just find it, and I'm not opposed to episodic movies, but there's no real flow or spark in the film. Everyone is, as you said, very mute and kind of dry. I think everyone around Napoleon is more interesting than him, which is kind of problematic as he is the main character and the lead. Not to say he doesn't do interesting things, but he's a very unlikable person. And that should not be at all a reason not to see the movie or to like the film. I don't believe you can like or dislike a movie based on likability with characters. But yeah, so in parts, I think it's funny. In parts, I think it feels like an imitation, if you will, of other better comedies around it. But it's in terms of independent filmmaking and seeing as they were able to pull it off with the cast they got, the limited resources they got, that in and of itself is a feat, and it deserves credit there. And Jared Hess became an overnight success as director from that point onwards. So while he hasn't made anything as monumental, I guess, as Napoleon Dynamite, if you can consider it monumental, it did kickstart his career, and so it's in that sense I'd find it inspiring for independent filmmakers out there trying to make interesting, quirky, funny type films. So those are my thoughts. Yeah, they might be contrary to popular opinion here.
But it's always great whenever you have a differing opinion, but you actually give good reasons. Because like going on to IMDb, like just going to the message boards, like every movie has a hate thread.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's like they don't give any valid points. It's like this movie's terrible. It's terrible.
Right.
But when valid points are brought up, it's like, hey, I can respect that. I see where you're coming from.
Oh, I just don't want to come across like a pretentious film student. It's not Citizen Kane, so I can't like it. No, I mean
Josh is getting that way.
Corey, hand me my knives. No, I'm joking. No,
Josh is getting.
I actually agree with you a lot. Like, and back when I said it was monumental, I was like, it was a poor choice of words. It's not monumental. It's what I guess what I meant to say was that as a comedy movie that I have seen personally, I don't know, it's always held a special place in my heart for like the stupidity part of comedy.
Well, so as Corey said, it's very relatable.
It's exactly, and it kind of reaches in like it relates to you as a person, and it reminds you of the things that like you've once experienced, like you never get the girl or something, or like or there's always that one guy who's, oh, don't be jealous, I've been chatting online with babes all day. And it's always the guy at the public school is like getting all the girls or whatever, or he's trying to make it look like that. But yeah,
except Kip is 32 though.
Yeah, that's a slight detail there that would kind of overlook, but
adds to the creep factor.
But yeah, basically, yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Wes. Like, yeah, pretty much. How about Lee? How about you? What's your favorite part of this movie? Just kidding. What are your impressions?
I think he's pretty much already covered it.
It sounds like a very odd movie.
It doesn't really have an overarching plot, which is one of the things about it. It's like, it's just like days in the life of high school. It's pretty much what it is.
I kind of picked up on that. It was like you kept talking. It's like, where's the story to this?
Yeah. It's like it's kind of like what they do with Sharknado. They just try.
I haven't seen Sharknado.
Oh my gosh, Sharknado! It's like a feat of horribleness. Like they just here. Let's make a movie and make a horrible. Or it's like either they tried and they failed epically, or they on purposely destroyed the movie, like in order to make it funny that way. Yeah. Like Sharknado 2, after Sharknado 1 came out, Sharknado 2, they just went all out with it. They were like, let's make this movie as stupid as possible. But like, so for instance, Napoleon Dynamite, it's like, I feel like the director was like, let's see how dry and how how like how dumb I can make this movie, and let's see how many laughs it gets if it's this dumb. It's like when you go to Instagram and you want to see what, like, if you add all the filters and you turn them all the way up and you want to see what the picture looks like, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the only person who's done that.
Well, you just got like a completely saturated white screen practically.
Yeah, like it's like let's see what it's like and show it to people and let's see what kind of reaction it gets. I mean, they don't really care about if it's successful or not. I feel like he probably went into creating it so as to see what kind of reaction he would get.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he anticipated it to be a massive hit that it was at Sundance.
Yeah,
it was overnight, and that just happened out of nowhere.
He just wanted to see what happened. Let's make
probably,
a movie.
Probably filmed made with some friends, and
Yeah, like it was originally based on a 9-minute film that he made.
Oh, wow. Okay, that kind of explains
called Palooka.
Uh-huh.
And it also had John Heder, and let's see, the plot on Wikipedia is real short. It's like, the film follows its main character Seth, played by John Heder, who I guess later became Napoleon Dynamite, as he skips school with two of his friends, Pedro and Gil, to attempt to buy a lottery ticket at a convenience store and shop at a local thrift store where they find a wig for Gil, who shaved his head after catching a fever, which went into Pedro Napoleon Dynamite. That happened.
Oh.
I didn't bring that up, but that happens. But then later they return to school, and Seth leaves to go to an FFA contest, which also made it into Napoleon Dynamite. That's one of my favorite scenes, the FFA stuff. Tastes like this milk tastes like the cow got into an onion patch. Correct.
You gonna eat your tots?
And it goes without saying that the film is in segments. It's very quotable.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. They have soundboards that they made and everything.
Yeah.
You could just
I use so many quotes. I like half the time if I don't understand a quote, it's because it's from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Right. Coming from someone who's never seen it, even
Yeah.
it's quotes, and that is a testament to the film's influence.
Yeah. One of the things I love about movies like this is, a lot of times directors focus so much on making a good movie. Like if you look at Christopher Nolan, all his movies, he puts so much time and effort into just making this fantastic movie, and I love that. But I also love people that just want to have fun and just you can tell, you can just hear them sitting there, planning and they're just coming up with all the ideas and just laughing about it,
Like the great comedies in the 80s, like Airplane and
Oh my gosh,
Blazing
Airplane.
Saddles, and I think Mel Brooks movies.
I love Mel Brooks.
Or the Farrelly brother films, like
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber in the 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
The Farrelly Brothers haven't been great in recent years, but have you seen that Three Stooges one? It's just-
I avoided them.
Anyway.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Anyway, okay. What's your my favorite part would probably be the dance.
Oh,
scene.
no,
I mean,
yeah,
not
no
the
question.
school dance, but the Napoleon on his own.
Oh, Napoleon
Dancing.
is not. Oh yeah, okay.
But I do like the school dance.
The school dance
Like-
just shows him flourishing into this social butterfly for 5 minutes.
Then his
and
date
then as
leaves
soon as
him.
it's over, he's back to his little
But then his date
Weird,
leaves him, so then
secluded self.
he dances with Deb a little bit because Pedro lets him. He's like,
What?
you can dance with Deb for a few minutes if you want.
I like your sleeves.
Like your sleeves.
I like your sleeves.
Thanks, I made them myself.
The solo Napoleon dance sequence is funny, just because of the fact that he has the same exact face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't change.
His face doesn't change throughout the whole
No,
movie.
his body is doing all kinds of crazy things, and his face just remains completely the same.
I had a friend that did that dance for a talent show.
Oh,
And it was
Nice.
it was something. But have any of you watched the animated series?
No,
I have.
I've seen
An
some.
animated Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It only
That does
lasted.
not sound like a good idea.
It only lasted for a season, but
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of it. But did you see any of it, Josh?
Yeah, I saw a few episodes of it.
Was it any good?
It was there were some Napoleon Dynamite-y parts of it that were huh, and that was about it.
Yeah,
But
that typically
the
happens.
movie almost might have, from that standpoint, it probably could have worked as a
TV
experimental TV show,
Yeah.
like Arrested Development or
Yeah,
The Office or
I mean,
Parks and Rec.
I mean, it started around the same time as most of those.
Yeah.
It's kinda-
So maybe the film was kind of, I don't know, a disservice to their efforts. But
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, it's still popular among
Yeah.
other people, and so I can't say it's a failure.
Yeah, I mean, 11 years later, people are still
Right.
watching it.
Right.
And I remember when it came out. Now
Like it was yesterday.
I feel old now.
What was it, 2004?
Four.
Yes, 4.
2004. Wow. Blake, you're probably what, 12?
What?
2004,
In 2004, I was
like 10.
I would have been 10.
Six,
seven.
six, okay.
I was. I was.
Blaise
I was
is
8.
now
I'm watching the
Napoleon
dance.
Yeah, Blaise is watching the
I would
dance
have
on
been
YouTube.
14.
You know what Roger Ebert gave this one?
Yeah, I was just pulling that up, and I was reading his review.
1.5 stars. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting what he said though, and he kind of is expressing what I was attempting to say, but he says he's much more eloquent than I ever hoped to be. He says, in the case of Napoleon Dynamite, I certainly don't like him, but then the movie makes no attempt to make him likable. Truth is, it doesn't even try to be a comedy. It tells us his story, and we are supposed to laugh because we find humor the movie pretends it doesn't know about. So that's kind of harsh, but
Yeah.
some interesting points there. He isn't, again, he's not a very likable person, and that's kind of a key to a great comedy is having, well, or what makes comedians like Jim Carrey or Steve Carell or back in the day, what was his face from Christmas Vacation?
Chevy
Chevy
Chase.
Chase.
Yeah.
So likable is that they were, entertaining,
Yeah.
charismatic actors, and they still are to some degree. So
John Heater's career didn't really take off.
no,
after
yeah,
this.
he's just a one-note kind of actor.
Yeah.
I'm on the trivia page of Internet Movie Database. I just want to read this
Mhm.
really quick. Like you were saying, Blaise, how like it was like they were sitting down and they were just laughing about creating this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was shot in 22 days.
Yeah.
And it was like, what? They just threw it together because they were having fun. And also the fact that John Heater was paid $1,000,
Wow.
only $1,000 to play Napoleon Dynamite, and the movie grossed over $40 million. And that's just,
And that's commendable,
yeah.
you know.
I would have been like, hey, you want to pay me more now?
Right.
Where's my royalty money?
I'm sure he's living off pretty well in those.
It's on TV all the time.
Yeah.
I catch it like pretty much every
Teachers.
time.
I never
Sports.
see it on TV. What? Why?
Always on TV.
What channel?
Like, I
is it
never
on?
have a chance to watch this
TBS?
movie.
I think it's on VH1.
VH1.
I think.
Probably ABC Family, maybe?
Maybe.
TBS.
But
You see families isn't really family anymore.
I know.
Whatever.
they got The Matrix on there. It's like, what?
That's such a family
It
movie.
is, yeah.
Anyway,
Fun for the entire family.
our
and bullets.
quality rating. What'd you give it on IMDb, Josh?
I gave it a 7 out of 10 only because I grew up with it. I just.
I gave it an 8 out of 10, buddy.
Well, okay.
Ooh.
Maybe I should give
Just
it
because
an
you
8 out of
think
10.
that every movie should be The Godfather, that's what you think.
Well, that would be true. No, but it's a fun popcorn movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's very watchable.
Yeah, it's
What was its Metascore? It was...
Metascore was a 64.
Yeah.
And that's actually pretty good.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I got 10 wins, 18
In
nominations.
comparison to Adam Sandler comedies.
I'm like, okay,
Adam
Adam Sandler,
Sandler.
I feel like he tries too hard now.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
He tries way too hard.
I didn't hate Pixels.
Really?
I thought Pixels was his best movie in a while.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah?
it still wasn't good. Like, it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
great.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
But I actually was laughing quite a bit more than his
Yeah.
his most recent movies.
See, my issue with that movie is it could have been so much better.
Yeah, it could have been way more interesting. Like, the concept of that movie was fantastic.
And it was played out really well with, like, Wreck-It Ralph, where
Mhm.
you're combining different, video game worlds into
Yeah.
one and making an interesting kind of story with that.
I didn't watch it just simply because his name was on it.
Right.
Oh, it was
He's-
way funnier than
he's
Grown
like
Ups
Poison
2.
Ivy to me as an actor.
Like Bedtime Stories was just, it was whimsical. I felt like Bedtime Stories was okay.
Oh, when my parents were watching Jack and Jill one night.
I heard Jack and Jill was horrible.
I went
The
back.
Al Pacino scene where he's singing. I'm like, what are you doing, Al? What are you doing with your career?
Speaking of The Godfather,
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we both gave 7 and an 8. What would you-
I mean, in terms of plot, I mean, definitely like a 2. Or
Yeah.
3. But for what it's worth, I mean, for the film that it is and the legacy that it has, to be fair, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. Yeah, maybe a 7 if I'm feeling generous. Just because it's so people respond so well to it. Like people, like my parents would respond to Airplane. Or,
Oh yeah.
any of those silly movies back then. So every generation has those types of movies, and I'm not going to hate on people who enjoy those types of movies.
Yeah.
So for what it's worth,
Thank you.
You got, it got the job done. So, fist pump.
Yeah.
Lee and Blaze, on a scale from 1 to 10, how likely would you see this?
10.
Well, there you go.
Now,
Well,
when I see it, I probably won't give it a 10.
It's it's a movie.
but-
It's a movie that you just have to see at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to see this movie for forever. Like I said, I just never had a chance to see
Yeah.
it. So,
Are you-
anytime you're gonna,
Don't hit the
don't,
table.
I'm sorry,
Table.
I'm sorry, you poor microphone. Like I was saying,
Before you hit the
Hey.
table.
anytime any of you are watching Napoleon Dynamite, give me a call because I want to watch it.
Yeah, what about you, Lee? Scale from 1 to 10.
Maybe a 7.
7. Yeah.
Give it a
Just
7.
to say you've seen it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, you're gonna watch it anyway.
Yeah.
You're gonna watch
I'm
it.
gonna force you.
It's a fun movie. I mean, it's a good popcorn movie. You're like, hey, what do you want to watch tonight? I have no idea. I have no ideas. Okay, let's go to not Blockbuster because they're ancient. Let's go. Let's go find it on Netflix or go pirate it off the internet.
No.
Oh, you mean rent on Amazon?
That's what I meant to say, but no. But you go watch it and you're like, well, that was a good way to kill some time.
Yeah.
There. I mean, it's not a great movie. It's not a bad movie. It's
Have a
just
chortle here and there.
yeah.
Yeah. A little guffaw.
Guffaws and chortles all around.
Yeah.
So content.
Content-wise, I'd say it's safe for probably 10 and up because of
Yeah.
Uncle Rico's stuff going on.
Oh yeah, Uncle
Which
Ringo's
would
a little
go
bit
over the kid's
weirdo.
head.
Yeah.
Probably.
It
Yeah,
doesn't really
yeah.
explicitly say anything.
I think I probably saw when I was 10 too.
Yeah.
I mean 10
Yeah.
or 11. I like. It's a pretty. There's no. I don't really remember much language in it or anything.
No, there isn't any.
It's
As far as I know, Jared Hess made it, right?
Yeah.
And Jared Hess is allegedly a Mormon.
Yeah, he's a Mormon.
Oh yeah.
So I don't
Okay.
think
Like, I think
there's really much in it that's.
like the only word that I think would cause any offense is the use of retarded. I think
Yeah,
it's the only
yeah.
thing that would cause any offense.
Yeah.
Hey, spread the word. Stop the word 2012. Come on.
Hey, I had to use it. Sometimes you just have to use words to explain them.
Yeah, no, I don't
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a joke.
Not gonna be like that on here.
You won't be invited next week.
I'm
I
sorry.
probably won't be either.
No, but yeah, So
Yeah.
overall,
My kids will watch it when they're
Oh, probably.
around that age,
yeah.
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 There was also a video game on.
No, there's not a Napoleon Dynamite.
There is.
Oh,
It
no.
was.
Okay.
I think my little brother has it on
2 out of
PSP.
10.
They should do a
No.
well, he
like
does it. He does.
He has it on PSP.
You know the Just Dance game or like Dance Revolution?
Yeah.
They should have that for like
For
the
Napoleon
Napoleon
Dynamite.
Dynamite.
They
So you have
probably-
to
they
like
probably
do
do.
exactly what he does in the.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the it's on PSP and DS,
Oh boy.
and
boy.
Man,
and it's
I'm
com-
gonna
for DS. I have a
go
PSP.
run out and
right?
buy it
It's-
now.
I know, right?
it's comprised of the PSP version is comprised of 30 mini games, and the DS version is comprised of 25, and then
Those mini games must be fun.
they're like based off
Oh,
of different
boy.
parts of the movie. You gotta show off your skills
Skills.
because girls only like a guy with skills.
Right.
There's a lot of gangs around here. One of them wanted me to join because I'm good with a bow staff.
I've heard that quote.
And Lee's
Many
want
times
to watch is Rise to 8. Or Rose to 8. I only got an hour and a half of sleep last night, you guys.
You and me both. Finals.
I love video games that just like completely go off of what the movie was. Like, here's the movie, the video game's like way over here doing
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
else. It's like got one of the characters from the movie and then everything
Right,
else is
right.
That's
completely
like
different.
Kung Fu Panda. Oh my goodness, the video game was like what?
Yeah.
I haven't
But
played the
it's-
video game.
Because what happens is they start making those games prior to the film's release. So they,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They just kind of.
It's just coming up with stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like E.T. is a legendary example.
Oh, right.
They rushed it to get it to release of the movie.
There's an ET video game?
Oh yeah.
You didn't know?
It-
No, I didn't
sorry.
know about the ET video
It almost
game.
ruined video games for good.
Ever.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to look this
It's
up now.
notorious.
It was almost the end.
It's a
of,
good thing it didn't stain
of-
the films
yeah.
with
Yeah.
the reputation.
Yeah.
The
It was
Nintendo
really
saved
bad.
the day.
And then like a couple of years ago, they found like this massive
Yeah.
burial site for
Yeah.
like a ton of
Like,
those
it was-
cartridges.
It was an urban legend for years, but they finally dug it up like last year, I believe,
yeah.
and it was
There
it's
was, like,
real.
hundreds of those
Atari-
Only
Atari
in first world
cartridges.
countries.
First world problems.
Yeah.
This game's so bad, I gotta bury it. Anyway, okay, the reception of the Napoleon Dynamite game. Hold on to your seats. The initial review from IGN gave the PSP version a drum roll, please. Lee, come on, drum roll.
Okay, I didn't want to.
4.5 out of 10.
Oh boy.
Okay.
But they gave the DS version
That sounds generous.
a 7 out of 10.
Wait, what?
Whoa.
Okay, I guess for a DS game. Like,
Touchscreen controls.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
what
how
it
good
is.
are DS games
And they-
other than Pokemon?
And they gave it a 7 because it closely matched the look and feel of the movie. But I've only played the PSP version, barely.
Oh, this ET game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Isn't he like an evil alien?
No, we don't even know what it's about.
not a clue.
You just get chased into a hole and you float out of a hole, and then you go back into the hole, and you float out of the hole again, and you get chased by a man in a yellow suit into a hole, and you gotta float out of the hole and go right back into the hole.
Sounds kind of like Curious George.
I've seen
It
it
sounds,
somewhere.
it sounds like M. Night Shyamalan's
You
film
probably
career.
saw it on my
Yes.
As the director.
We'll probably talk more about that game when we do our ET episode, because I'm sure we're going to.
We
do
should
that.
talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan sometime.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be a great
Yeah.
discussion.
I won't have a filter on that one. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I think-
Well,
We think we got all bases covered with this one.
What do you guys? There's a lot of films coming out. Hoping to see.
Star Wars.
Of course.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
It's a small indie film called
Yeah.
Force Awakens.
It's a little space movie.
Yeah.
As of this recording, when we release this, we've probably already seen it. But just to show you how things work, audience at home, we haven't seen it yet, even though you've probably heard us talk about it already.
I'm gonna be the first one to see it, just FYI. Because
Really?
I'm going to the premiere.
He's
Oh,
seen it
same
opening
here.
night too.
Yep.
yeah.
8 o'clock.
Oh, 7 o'clock. Ha!
Yeah.
Cinemark,
17th.
Miriam.
No, downtown. The
I'm
plaza.
going AMC.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
AMC's
So,
showing it.
What movie we're gonna talk about on our next episode? Any idea, or we just want it to be a surprise?
We could do ET.
Like, because Napoleon Dynamite was a surprise.
we can do a surprise.
we've done it-
We don't always
yeah.
have to.
Because I don't want to do ET next. We've done enough
Yeah, we
sci-fi
have.
for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Napoleon Dynamite's our first totally not sci-fi movie, unless you count Ligers and their mystical powers.
Yeah.
And,
Should you
but, yeah.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, the movie?
Oh god. No.
That's
I haven't watched that one. I don't-
That's the worst movie of all time.
That is
Well,
a
other
horrible-
than
I'm
The
pretty
Room.
sure.
that's a pretty horrible.
But yeah,
movie.
next episode we'll talk about a movie. It'll be surprise until you see the title.
pretty much.
So yeah, but
All right.
You
until
should put on the title next time, like a completely different movie, so then they're confused.
Yeah.
They're like,
April
oh,
Fool's.
they're doing a review on Star
Yeah,
Wars.
to
and
boost,
then
to
it's-
boost ratings and clickbait. They'll
Yeah.
it's it's something entirely
You'll
different.
never believe what we're making our podcast about.
okay, at the
Part
we have a
2 will
tradition.
surprise you.
We have a tradition. We have a tradition at the end of each episode that after I say whatever thing, we all do this. We go. Do that.
Okay.
And, yeah,
It goes around this way.
Okay. It goes around this. So, but I'm gonna start instead of I used "May the Force be with you" for the first few, including Spider-Man ones. But I'm gonna start using quote from the movie.
Yeah.
So, just follow your heart. That's what I do. Remember that. Till next time.